We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey, so make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T, and I hope everybody's doing good today. Make sure you guys have your teacups ready.
Get ready. Y'all get ready.
Yes, you get ready.
Because this tea is what? Piping hot. So if you guys do not know, Wendy Williams is currently receiving a bunch of backlash. A lot of folks are really mad at her because she took to her platform the other day and she basically stated what I've been stating for a while on my channel. She too is tired of the whole hashtag Me Too movement and that it's just become a bit too much, okay? I want you guys to go ahead and check out what Wendy Williams had to say on her show. Check this out and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
I'm sick of this Me Too movement. You know, I mean, I love that people are speaking up for the first time and coming out and everything, but now it's got, I look at all men like you're a Me Too. All of them, all of them.
All right, so you guys just saw what Wendy Williams had to say. And she also spoke on the whole R. Kelly and Aaliyah situation, where she stated that, you know, at the end of the day, Aaliyah's parents consented to this relationship with Aaliyah and R. Kelly. They signed the marriage forms, and so a lot of people were complicit. And she feels like she puts more blame on the parents just as much as she puts the blame on R. Kelly. So now, as far as the whole Me Too movement, I've been told y'all that I'm tired of what Hollywood has turned this movement into. I addressed with y'all a few videos ago that the Me Too movement was started by a black woman in Philadelphia. Her name is Tarana Burke. And basically, she started this movement to help underprivileged girls have a voice to say what happened to them during their assault, during their rape, during their victimization. And somehow Hollywood decided to jump onto her bandwagon, retwist it, spin their own narrative on it, and now people literally think that Alyssa Milano and Rose McGowan started Me Too instead of Tarana Burke, who started this over 10 years ago. You know, another thing that's gotten on my nerves with this whole Me Too movement is that anything just falls under Me Too now. You know, just the other day we had the whole drama with Aziz Ansari, where the woman who went on a bad date with him and gave him head not once but twice, you know, proceeded to put herself in the whole Me Too hashtag as well. She decided to tie herself to this situation when her situation was just more or less a bad date and some bad sex. She, in turn, decided to attach herself to a movement that's supposed to be important, to a movement that's supposed to be for real victims. So I definitely understand where Wendy Williams was coming from when she said she's tired of the whole Me Too situation. But you notice her audience was dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop. It's like people are so uncomfortable being realistic about this situation. And I've had a lot of dialogue with people behind the scenes. I've had people thank me for my honesty in my videos because I say things that they cannot say on their platforms because they would just be railroaded. And I think, you know, as people, you have to question some of these Me Too's. When folks can stand next to a man knowing that he's harassed, potentially raped you, but you feel like it's more important to hold a metal statue, or you feel like it's more important to have fame, money, and prestige, and then now 10, 15 years later, you want me to look at you as a hero, I'm not going to do that. Because of your silence, you allowed other people to be victims, and that was okay as long as you had the prestige, the fame, and the money. You were able to keep your mouth shut. But once those roles dried up, once there's a new crop of girls and there's nothing else left for you to do, now you want to be the hero and the voice for women. And that's why I can't get with the Rose McGowan and a lot of these other Hollywood A-listers, because a lot of them sat there next to Harvey Weinstein and these other guys, and they were complicit in it. If you're not going to speak up, if you're not going to, you know, raise awareness, if you're not going to go to the police, because again, this man was not only sexually harassing people, he was also raping women. And these people in Hollywood stood by quietly. They knew what was going down. It was more important to put up this facade of unity. It was more important to, you know, have an Oscar award. It was more important to be a household name than to be a good, upstanding citizen. So that's why a lot of these Me Too stories, they don't get a lot of sympathy from me, okay? I'll save my sympathy for that chick who was an intern, who had bills to pay, whose boss came at her crazy, and she had to choose, do I sit here and deal with the sexual harassment, or do I quit this job without a backup plan, become homeless, not be able to feed my family? I'll save my tears and my worries for people in those type of situations. You can call me biased, you can call me mean, but I don't give a damn. I cannot look at these A-list starlets and put them in the same light as a regular schmegular person going through sexual harassment, especially when a lot of them stood by, they knew what was going on, and they allowed other girls to be victimized by these same predators. You know, but I want to point out a case that I just found out about yesterday where before there was a Me Too movement, somebody took advantage of a situation, got money, and literally ruined a TV show, okay? So this person is scared that this whole Me Too movement may be causing that again, where yes, there's a lot of real victims out there, but there's also a lot of people who are not victims and they're just looking for attention and a quick money grab. So if you guys do not know, there was a show when I was a kid called The Wonder Years. And I love that show back in like 6th grade and junior high and stuff. I used to tune in all the time, honey. If I heard this theme song, TT was running to the TV to sit down and watch TV, okay? That damn theme song. Well, Wonder Years was my show. And I remembered when Wonder Years got canceled, you know, me being a kid, I never understood why. I didn't know why it was canceled. Well, yesterday, Allie Mills, who played the mother of Kevin Arnold on the Wonder Years for 6 seasons, she came out and she basically blasted the industry and basically blasted, you know, what happened. And so what ended up happening is that back in 1993, there was a costume designer. Her name was Monique Long, and she was 31 years old at the time. And she alleged that 16-year-old Fred Savage and Jason Harvey, who played Wayne, the older brother, she claims that they sexually harassed her. And because ABC didn't want the bad press, they didn't want it to go through court, they decided to settle with her. And now Allie is speaking about this to Yahoo News. I want you guys to go ahead and check out her interview. Check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
When we shot the series finale, which was in Whittier, nobody knew whether or not the Wonder Years was going to be renewed. And that's because of a completely ridiculous sexual harassment suit that was going on against Fred Savage, who was like the least offensive, most wonderful, sweet human being that ever walked the face of the earth. So I just thought it was a big joke and it was going to blow over. I mean, it was such a joke, but it's a little bit like what's happening now. Some innocent people can get caught up in this stuff. It's very tricky. It was so not true. It was my dresser, and I don't care if she's listening. I probably shouldn't be telling this, but I don't care because it's so long ago and it's got to be over now. And I wasn't allowed to talk then, which made me so upset. We had a gag order on us. And I wanted to scream on television, this is ridiculous. He and his family are like the greatest human beings that ever lived. He still is. He's an amazing kid, Fred. He's just amazing. His family's amazing now. And I just thought this was a joke, but it got, you know, they bought her off, which really made me mad. That was incorrigible that the network did that. They should never have paid her off. But they wanted to like avoid a scandal or something, I don't know, but it made him look guilty. You know, you don't pay someone off when there's no crime, you just fire the girl.
So was a 7th season torpedoed because of that allegation?
Yeah. I mean, it would have gone as long as the show kept, you know, when you keep up a certain amount of ratings, you know, they keep a show going, but it was because of all that garbage. And, you know, Fred, who was like, would hold you by your ears and tell you he loved you. That's sexual harassment. So it gets really tricky, you know, all like this thing that's happening right now, all of these allegations. When they're true, awesome, you know, bring it out, bring things to the light. But it's so important because I actually know a couple that are not. And it's tricky. It's really tricky because people just would rather just let go of it than allow you your truth and your time in court. So it's, this was like one of the first ones. He was, I think, what, 16, 15? I don't know what he was, but a baby.
All right, so you guys just saw what Allie Mills had to say, and I really respect her for being honest. You know, nobody is saying that there's not real victims. Nobody is saying that, you know, powerful men do not take advantage of certain situations. Hell, we got the guy, what is his name? Steve Wynn, the guy who owns those casinos, the Wynn Hotel and casinos in Las Vegas. He's not being accused of sexual misconduct as well. So many men are now being attached to this whole Me Too situation that at some point in time, we have to start calling a spade, and we have to start doing our due diligence and make sure that these are legitimate claims like a Harvey Weinstein. His is very legitimate. There's no questioning that. All the nonsense he's been doing has been well documented. He's settled out of court so many times. He is a legitimate case. But then you also have other cases like Aziz Ansari and what he went through where that was not a legitimate case. So I think that people need to just stop jumping on the bandwagon and stop just jumping with any narrative and make sure that we're doing our due diligence, and those who are being accused are guilty for what they're being accused of, and it's not just a witch hunt. And this woman is a perfect case of that. She literally ruined this young man's reputation for years, because for years after this, we didn't see Fred Savage for a long time. He was unable to get any work in Hollywood because that stigma was around him, even though he never went to court. He was never able to defend himself, but that stigma stuck with him for years. You know, now he's able to work and stuff like that. He's gotten some work, but he literally went 3 full years after the Wonder Years was over before he was able to get any work. And even at that time in the 90s, he was just like doing like a lot of narration and little small bit parts. He wasn't able to get like full TV series until like the 2000s. So that sexual harassment allegation really affected his life throughout the late 90s. And that's why we didn't hear a lot from Fred Savage. So I definitely can understand where Wendy Williams is coming from when she says she's tired of the whole Me Too hashtag. And I definitely understand where Allie Mills is coming from too, because this movement has been so far removed and turned upside down from what the original movement was about that Teronica Burke envisioned. It's just been totally Hollywood and whitewashed now, unfortunately for her. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about what Allie Mills had to say about the whole situation that went down in 93 when Wonder Years was canceled. And then how do you guys feel about what Wendy Williams had to say as well? So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button. And make sure you click that bell so you can be down with the notification squad, honey. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.